Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much to all of our community partners for making Winnebago County a healthier place to live, work, learn, and play. We can't make these changes in our community without all of your involvement and dedication. So joining me now is Allison Laverty Montag, a lactation consultant with the Winnebago County Health Department and breastfeeding peer counselor with the WIC program. Thanks for being here, Allison.
Hi.
Can you tell me a little bit about what a breastfeeding peer counselor does?
Yes. So a breastfeeding peer counselor was on WIC with at least one of her children, and they had to have successfully breastfeed for about 6 months. And the idea behind the program is that they hopefully get to know me while they're still pregnant, so that when they have the baby that they're already comfortable with me and we've already developed a relationship. So that we know moms are not very good about asking for help, even when they need it. So hopefully, since they're already comfortable with me, they're more likely to ask for help.
Gotcha.
And then with the health department, I help any county resident with breastfeeding assistance or support, whatever concerns that they have.
Gotcha. So, like, if I had a question about breastfeeding, I would talk to you.
Yep. You just
you're
call the health
expert.
department and ask for the lactation consultant. And then I talk to moms by text, phone, I email, or I talk to them in person as well.
Gotcha. Well, that's a really awesome service for moms, new moms all over the county. So, why is breastfeeding so important? Like, why do we have a position in the county that does what you do?
Breastfeeding has so many different health benefits for both mom and baby. So for babies, we know that they have fewer ear infections, fewer respiratory illnesses and intestinal problems. But then they also have reduced risks of obesity as an adult and reduced chances of developing type 1 or type 2 diabetes. For mom, she's less likely to develop type 2 diabetes, but she has reduced risk of ovarian cancer and breast cancer, as well as, there's lists of things that we know it'll help mom with too.
Awesome. And that's everything that Rethink works for in our community, is to reduce prevalence of chronic disease.
Right.
And improve health.
So it's the perfect food right from the beginning.
Absolutely. So it can be sometimes pretty challenging, though, for moms to breastfeed for an extended period of time, especially. So what are some of the supports that you and your community partners are working on?
So I'm part of BFAN, which is our local breastfeeding coalition, and we just came off of a 2-year project called the tongue tie project. So tongue tie is when you may have a restricted tongue, and we had a program to create awareness of how tongue tie can affect breastfeeding. So we've really changed things in our area very quickly. So we have resources for moms that we didn't even have 3 years ago.
Great. So what kinds of, how did that happen? What changed?
Well, it's passionate grassroots. And it's just we got together and we started educating people. So now we're working with hospitals and with the health department, trying to get moms the breastfeeding help they need when they need it, and sometimes very quickly. And then at the health department, we're working on starting a drop-in breastfeeding clinic. So any county resident can go to the health department and get help with breastfeeding, which is so important because this is public health. Of course we should support breastfeeding. And then we also do a free breastfeeding class both in Neenah and Oshkosh every month.
That's so many things.
Yes,
I guess
it is. And it keeps me busy.
And it's for kind of a niche market, like a niche audience. Like this program isn't obviously for all county residents. However, so many county residents could benefit, not just moms, but their babies and their families and the people they work with or for. So
well, and anyone can support breastfeeding. You don't have to know much about it at all to help someone get help.
Awesome. So can you tell me a little bit more? We've been talking today about childcare centers. So can you tell me a little bit more about what a breastfeeding friendly childcare center is?
Sure.
And how that all works?
So the Surgeon General had a call to action in 2011, and she outlined 20 steps that the nation should do to support breastfeeding. So action 16 is that all daycare providers should accommodate the needs of breastfeeding mothers and infants. So that's something that the health department has decided to take on as an initiative for 2016, and we just completed our second training last night, which takes care of the training of the staff so that they can support and promote breastfeeding within their facility.
And if you're interested, you could go to the CDC website and see all of the different recommendations for supporting breastfeeding.
Right.
So we're talking specifically about childcare centers. So what are some of the things that a breastfeeding-friendly childcare center kind of needs to do to become breastfeeding-friendly?
So they can have breastfeeding books and posters. But they have the staff that just says certain things that are supporting the moms or help them find the resources, which we provide. So we will give a binder to the daycare center so that they can have all the 10 steps right in front of them, and then we support them through it if they want the help. Otherwise, they can do it on their own. But it's just the little things like training all their staff so that everyone is giving the same consistent information.
So if a mom comes into a child care center and she's breastfeeding, how does that work? I'm just curious. People maybe want to know.
Well, a lot of it is just having them familiar with it, because breastfeeding can seem strange to people who aren't familiar with it. And so for me, I talk breastfeeding all day, just about every single day. So for me, it's very normal. So I try to normalize it for people so that it's not as strange to them. But then little things they say make a big difference. And then if a mom is experiencing difficulties, they can just pull out the binder and here's the list of resources. These are people that you can call today for help.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds like a really great support network for breastfeeding moms and
I call
babies.
it the Breastfeeding Support Network.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow, I feel pretty smart. So if there's a child care center in our area that would like more information about becoming breastfeeding friendly, how would they go about doing that?
They could call the health department, ask for me, Allison, or just say they want more information and a message will come to me. Otherwise, they can go to the Wood County website and read about more there.
Awesome. And it's woodcountybreastfeeding.org. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but you can probably get right to it. There's breastfeeding
just Google
friendly childcare centers. Awesome. That's what Google's for. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Allison. We really appreciate sharing about this topic. Again, like you said, sometimes it's a little strange talking about breastfeeding, but that's how moms feed their babies, and that's totally normal.
My pleasure, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So that's all we have for our show today. Again, we were talking about some of our youngest residents. You can always check out the rest of what's going on with Rethink at rethinkwinnebago.org. You can connect with us on all of our social media outlets on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also read our blog. And try to connect with us that way. So until next time, we'll be working to create a healthier community and make the healthy choice the easy choice.